Welcome to The Struggle with Candice Thompson. I am Candice Thompson, and we are going to be struggling today. Look at Mal's face. Shut up, Mal. He says I say my name way too much.
You say your name too much.
It's a good name. What do you want from me?
I'm trying to figure out what that boom was.
Boom. That was my intro.
And we're back.
Boom. That's my onomatopoeia. So for our new listeners, The Struggle is a podcast where we have guests come on talking about the struggles of adulthood. Anything from like you eat too much, or maybe you sleep too much. Maybe you have too much body hair. Maybe you're addicted to Netflix. Maybe you feel like you're depressed. We're here to laugh about it. Kinda. You know, sometimes episodes are deeper than we expected, and that's fine too. We're here to cover the spectrum of it. So we're going to have some fun today. We have a lovely guest, but I'm going to plug myself, and then Mal's going to plug, and then we'll get it going from there. You can find me at Jokes by Candice on social media, Instagram and Twitter. That's what I mean by social media. You can look me up on Snapchat, but I think I deleted myself from there, so I won't be on there. CandiceThompsonComedy.com for all my tour dates and shows. And Mal, where can everyone find you?
Malhall.com for tour dates and stuff. And then...
and porn.
At Malhall on social media, all of them. And Malhall TV on YouTube. That's pretty much it.
That's it? Mm-hmm. All right. And now I'm going to intro our lovely and hilarious guest. She's been a friend of mine for a long time now. Like, we've been through these trenches. We've been through these comedy trenches, and I'm so happy that she came here today. My hilarious friend, the hilarious Aida Rodriguez.
Aida Rodriguez.
Hey. Did I mention she's hilarious?
I appreciate y'all. Sometimes I don't know.
You're hilarious.
I appreciate that.
She is hilarious, and I know this industry be telling us, no, you're not.
Oh, no.
You feel good about yourself, and the industry be like, no, you're not. Yeah. Calm down. The industry be like, have a seat. Yeah. Several seats. Where can everyone find you on social media?
At Funny Aida, AIDA, and on Facebook, someone decided to use my name for not funny shit. So you can find me at Aida.Rodriguez on
You got
Facebook.
hacked?
Not hacked, it's just somebody beat me to it.
Oh.
You know, like people got my name on the internet as well, and they've been trying to sell me my own name for my website, and I'm like, I'm not paying for that.
Right.
My name ain't worth nothing to me.
GoDaddy sent me an email, and they were like, do you know how much your domain is worth? Like, based on your name? And I was like...
$7?
I had no idea. There's a comma in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember people... Was that what that was? I remember people posting on Instagram at one point, like what their worth was at one point. And I don't know if that's what that was.
That was like a weird email to
But where did they even come up with these values?
Mine was 16 million, and I was like, I Googled my name to see which Aida Rodriguez that could have been,
right.
And none of us have $16 million.
Combined?
Yeah, three of those bitches were in jail. I was like, where did they find this number?
These numbers.
Yeah, and this is during Tiffany Haddish taking off.
The
like,
skyrocket,
who's my friend who actually paid for my birthday dinner because nobody else had money. And I was like, $16 million. Yeah. I was like, where do they get this?
Random.
I feel like maybe there was like remember the Wu-Tang name generator where you just typed in your name and they just randomly came up with it? Like, I feel they did that with money for this one.
They were taunting us. And it was all comedians. Like Tony Baker.
I remember. His was like 20 million or something like that. I'm like, what is it?
Sell your domain immediately, Tony. Immediately.
Man.
Shows you want to plug anything?
So, funnyaida.com. My schedule is on there. One thing I'm really excited about, I'm going to be at Politicon.
Oh, nice.
This year. I don't know if I'm supposed to announce that yet, but
it's fine.
That's all I got going right now.
It's fine. No, that's great. I went to Politicon last year, and I want to say I helped out with Lady Parch Justice. I don't know if you're familiar with those guys. I volunteered with them the past couple of years. It's fun.
I'm doing a date with them, and well, you know what? I don't like plugging those dates because I feel like I'm plugging my own homicide attempt. When I'm like, I'm going here with Lady Parch Justice. Yeah, we'll kill her there.
Right. Yeah, no, people are crazy. There was a dude there who came up and started arguing with Joyelle at the booth about he was like, you're a baby killer, was screaming at her. And the best thing about Joyelle is that she don't give a fuck.
No,
she will scream right back at them. And this was a dude who was talking about how he's like anti-gay and anti-abortion. And then he starts telling her a story about how he went and did research about homosexuality in a gay club. And then was like, and I didn't get all my research done the first night, so I went back. And we were like, word. You might be gay, sir. I think you just like hanging out in gay clubs. And that's fine. Just admit it.
The drink specials are off the chain at this place.
So I didn't finish my research. So I was unbuckling my pants. And
they can really dance.
they can dance.
I love going to gay clubs. I have so much fun.
And they party they get started the party so much earlier than we do. I went to a gay club in the middle of the day on a Sunday and they were getting turned. Yeah. It was like brunch time and there was a dude in a thong on a platform.
Of course.
Dancing and it was like 2 p.m.
It's the truth.
Excuse me, waiter. No, we need more mimosas over here. Thank you.
Just living his truth on a Sunday afternoon. It was beautiful.
I love that you assume that they drink mimosas.
It does. I mean, mimosas is like a gay-sounding drink, definitely. I know I'm going to get in trouble for this.
But I think...
But it just sounds like mimosa. It sounds like it's very like...
Well, she said a Sunday in the daytime, so I was thinking of like a brunch drink.
But I just think being anally penetrated by a penis requires some hard liquor.
You're right.
I know. It's just my
Put some vodka
Put some
in my
tequila
mimosa,
in that.
please.
Come on, let's get banned and outraged together. Fuck it. I said I've been nice for so long and you should come out of it. I'm fucking punching down.
I like this, Ida.
All this dignity ain't doing shit.
It's not. I'm so tired of taking the high road.
No.
I'm so tired. The high road is exhausting as fuck.
Yeah, and you know what? It's so funny because everybody's talking about that right now, being civil and where is civility? And I'm like, are y'all serious? Where was civility when old boy was talking about grabbing somebody by the pussy?
Right.
Have you ever been grabbed by the pussy?
It's never been a factor in the history of America. What are we talking about?
I love it. I think it's hilarious and hypocritical, and it's fun to watch white people get turned away from restaurants. Because it's like karma.
Seeing Sarah Huckabee Sanders get turned, and then how everybody, the hypocrisy of them being like, how dare they? I'm like, do you understand?
Yeah, no. But you know what's really
They
funny?
don't. The answer is no.
They don't.
They don't care.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny is that she got turned away from a restaurant called The Red Hen, which is why people are so offended, because that sounds like somewhere where the GOP would hang out. Like, they'd be like, it's called The Red Hen.
Yeah.
They didn't know that red was a part of their rainbow.
Yeah.
Do we know if because I didn't do any research about this, but do we know the owners of the restaurant, were they white people?
Yeah, they're white.
That's fantastic.
But they were speaking up on behalf of their employees who felt uncomfortable with her being there.
That's fantastic.
And it's a family. There are pictures of the mother, the father, and the son, and they got on their pink pussy hats. It's really cute and funny.
That's adorable. But all we need is really just more white people to stick up for us.
Mm-hmm. And men to stick up for women.
That too.
And, straight people to stick up for gay people and all that other shit in the Wizard of Oz that doesn't exist.
Right. Damn, you're right. Absolutely, 100%.
I came here with the pessimism draws on.
That's good.
And you had a lot of time to be thinking about it in that traffic. She was like, for 45 minutes.
That's good. So Ida, stew in that a little bit longer. What's your
we're going to talk about my struggles.
Candice?
Yeah, we're going to get into and this one's is more of a superficial struggle, but I'm tired of late sleeper discrimination. Did I talk about this on another podcast? I don't think so. But I'm tired, because our schedules, we be out late.
Yep.
We be out till 2, 3 o'clock, sometimes 4. It depends on the night.
Mm-hmm.
But the society behaves as if everyone's on a 9 to 5 schedule. Like I hear the lawnmowers outside. It'd be 8 o'clock in the morning. My neighbor be banging on my door, trying to give me something or there's something taped to your door. I'm like, I would have discovered this later on. Why did you wake me up at 9 o'clock in the morning to tell me there was a flyer taped to my door? Mm-hmm. I'm not set to wake up for at least another hour. So it just depends on the day. But I'm tired of it. There are people like us who don't function like that. So I'm going to vent about it for a second. That's all it was.
And you still pay your bills?
I still pay my bills like the rest of society. So I have rights. And why can't people just be outside cutting grass at midnight?
No, I hate it.
When I'm at work.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
So you went out and told the gardeners, hey, if you wouldn't mind wait until the sun is directly above your head before you start working. Because I'll be up by then. Yeah.
But I look down my block. And there's so many people that are not at work. Right. And I'm like, what are all these people doing? I'm not the only one.
All of us.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But it's and I know all these people aren't comedians and not all actors. I can look and see that these people are not necessarily in the industry. But it's I'm curious as to what So I'm not the only one. Like, so many cars are parked when I'm at home. And I'm just like, these people aren't at work. So why are we still functioning as if everybody, especially in LA, it's not a 9-to-5 city. This is not a 9-to-5 city at all.
I hate it. I had somebody call me. She calls me at 7 a.m.
Who?
all the time. I'm going to put her on blast today. She works for this organization that I raise money for. So then the last time she called, I suffer from really bad migraines. I have one today.
Oh, no.
So she calls me at 7 a.m. and I keep my phone on because I'm a mom and I'm paranoid. I'm like, they're going to call me one day. And she calls me and I'm like, why do you always call me so early? And she's like, I figure because you have children. I'm like, they're 47 years old. Don't call me. I don't drive them to school. They drive me around now. Please don't call me this early anymore.
I'm not awake, bitch.
Oh, my God. I was like, please don't call me this early anymore.
You're using the excuse of kids. Like, my kids are grown. What are you talking about?
I wasn't a good mother. I didn't take them to school in the morning.
She was like, even when they were young, I was still not awake at this time.
They let themselves out.
They cooked themselves breakfast.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just so, people do discriminate against people as if you're lazy because you don't wake up early.
Yes.
They don't know that when we start going, we go all day and all night.
All night.
Right, yeah.
In addition to stand-up comedy, we have to harass agents and managers, chase breakdowns, harass our friends who have better connections than us.
Yes.
There's a whole a lot of stuff, makes crazy sketches for the internet.
Yes.
It's like a job that never ends.
That never ends.
Yeah.
We're always on.
Yeah.
They get to shut down at 5 o'clock and then go home and veg out in front of the television or whatever. But that's when we're just like getting the rest of our day started.
I hate it when my friends will call at like 10 and the call will wake me up. Yeah. And then they'll be like, just the attitude and the stink on like, oh, you sound like you just woke up.
Yes.
Like I did.
Yeah. That's what this sounds like.
But you know what also that stank is because they want to be sleeping in.
Yeah.
So that's a huge part of it too. It's like, they're mad because they've been up for 4 hours already.
Yeah.
I love people who call with the sassy little, it's the early bird that catches the worm. Oh, my.
Bitch, I don't eat worms. I told you I was vegan.
That's nasty.
We're all Brian fellows in the morning.
That sounds nasty.
That sounds gross. Worms are for the birds.
That bird has crazy eyes. Well, I'm glad we're all on the same page with that. Mal, do you have a struggle?
No.
You don't?
No.
Why not?
I just don't.
I'm looking at you right now and I can see
my face
at
is
least
my
4 struggles.
My face, my eyeballs, and eyebrows.
Yeah. And that weird mole that's growing out of your
Yeah, I just discovered that I'm growing a Morgan Freeman. Do you see this?
It's just a mole.
Oh, yeah.
I just discovered that. I was like, what's on my face? Like, I thought that I had an eye booger right here, and so I was trying to pick it off, and then I was like, oh, that's definitely attached to my face.
Stop picking at it.
Yeah, leave it alone.
We could name it Marvin.
Morgan.
Morgan.
My Morgan Freeman mole is called Morgan. No, I don't have a struggle today. I have to start making a list of these
No, I started to because I will forget.
I never have one for this part of the show. But
really?
Yeah, I'm just excited to hear the guest struggle.
Oh, we can go in alphabetical order. We can pick out of a hat.
Girl, whatever. Start with the one that's most pressing that you want to spend the most time on, and then if that expires, we'll get to.
So we'll talk about the one that will definitely get me blackballed.
Oh,
the entertainment business.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
You know what? What I'm struggling with is maintaining my humanity in the midst of this climate, not just politically, but just the business. I don't want to ever be someone who's not happy for somebody else to be successful.
Of course.
But it drives you there sometimes. And I cannot be, I would be a liar if I said it doesn't bother me to see sometimes some things happening for other people. Not that I don't want it to happen for them, but I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And then it's typical oppression, because what happens is the entertainment industry does that to us. And then they tell us, well, that person did this and this person did that. Just like in America, they tell people it's the immigrants that are keeping you from your jobs. But it's really the system that's in place that's doing this to us. And I'm just struggling with that because I don't want to become one of those people. Like
bitter.
Yeah, I love what I do. And what I do is now I'm in a cocoon because I stay away from so many people in the business because I don't want to go in that direction. And I really am struggling with that because I don't have a social life as a result of it. I really stay away from people. After comedy clubs, I run home.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't want to participate in that. It just really makes me, it just takes me away from who I really am. And who I really am is like, I enjoy to see people win.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just been really, really difficult. And reps don't make it any easier. Like I hate to hear my manager say, how the F did that happen for that person? He's not even funny.
And you're like, you're not supposed to be saying that.
Yeah, and you're not helping the situation. It's like, that doesn't make me
feel better.
Right.
Now you're just letting me know that you think that the business is not about talent. So that makes me even more nervous.
And which it isn't. Like, and that's
frustrating.
That's what's extremely frustrating is we see it repeatedly. Like that's just reinforced that it's not about talent, and not saying that talented people don't make it, but we are in an industry. I mean, look at our president. We're in a world where it's not about what you can do. It's about the crowd you can draw.
Yeah.
It's a popularity contest. So like the talent doesn't really mean anything. Like if you have that and you just so happen to also have a built-in fan base that comes along with you, then like it's a win-win. But for a lot of us who are extremely talented, but don't necessarily have all of their dots, to connect to get to that fame level at this moment, it's frustrating because we see other people doing it that don't necessarily deserve it. Now, we're not going to say names, obviously.
Right. I like 5 people's names came to my head.
Of course.
Those are the things that I'm like, am I a hater?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I don't want to be a hater. Like, I celebrate people that I don't even hang out with, that I'm not really cool with. If I think you're talented, I think you're talented. And I want to see especially people of color win.
Of course.
And because the opportunities are not there. And
that's the hard part though, is because you're talented and you also have like a clear point of view, and you also have standards for like what, like creative integrity. And so it's hard when you try to stick to those morals and you're like, I'm going to win because this is like the right way. And this is how I think all the people I look up to did it. So I'm going to do it this way. And then you look up and you're like, oh shit, this is not what is currently winning right now.
All is lost.
I should start fucking this stool immediately.
You do start thinking about that. You do. I always say, like, the fact that my parents raised me with like a moral compass and taught me to have morals and values was just like a detriment in this industry because we're competing against people who are literally willing to do anything.
Yep.
To make it.
And what's funny? It's like somebody told me someone not that I respect, but someone who has a voice in this business that were like, Ida, what you need to do is get on Instagram and just start doing some of those sassy videos.
Someone told me the exact same. I wonder if it's the same person who told us this. We can discuss after.
Oh my God. Yeah. Just be the sassy Latin chick and do those videos.
I'm like, I don't want to.
I said, you want me to perpetuate the images about women that look like me, who look like me, that are so problematic because they don't see us as humans, they see us as caricatures, which makes it easier for somebody to slam you up against a wall, throw you, and
objectify.
People don't realize that those are the things that hurt us and that really hurt us in life. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm not like, one thing about me is that I don't pretend to be something I'm not. I didn't go to Brown. I didn't go to Harvard. But I do consider myself someone that if I need to know something, I'm going to go read and find out, get the information that I need so that I can speak from an informed place. And that's very important to me because I actually do come from the ghetto and it wasn't fun. And this glorification of struggle and how the ghetto is, it's cool to be ghetto. It's cool to be ghetto because you're visiting with it. But if you had to actually live in a neighborhood,
grow up in it,
yeah, it's not. And it's like, I always tell people, like, don't do that. Don't make that sound fun. That gets people hurt.
Right.
17 of my classmates in high school died from the time I was a freshman till a senior. There was nothing cool about that. I'm not going to write a rap song about it.
Right.
It's not funny.
Yeah. But it's just for entertainment purposes. And it's like, we got to stop perpetuating that 100%.
But we have stopped perpetuating it, but that doesn't keep the rest of the industry from perpetuating it. So we look like the dumb one.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you walk on stage, but there's like 500 people there that have been programmed to think that, oh, this is what Latin comedy is. This is what Black comedy is. And then you come out talking like how we talk. Then they're like, wait.
They're thrown off.
Yeah. No. I've been in shows. I've been in shows with both of you. And I've been in the shows where I'll see the audience. I was on a show with you. That was my birthday show. And I just look at the audience. It reminds me of that movie Idiocracy. Because I'm like, when you have to go out, and then people say, well, if it's funny, it's funny, and funny is funny. And it's like, not if you've changed, you've shifted the paradigm of what's going on right now, and you're dumbing down people because you want to take people's rights away and you want to enforce a Muslim ban. Of course, funny is different now.
Of course.
But that's not what, nobody's quoting that. You know what I mean? When people are walking around quoting George Carlin and still Richard Pryor and Lenny Bruce, is because they're thirsty, because right now nobody's talking about that stuff. And so you have to pay attention to that. I mean, can you quote a dance? Can you quote somebody, saying some stock bullshit about what Black people do this? I mean, if white people do this, Latino, nobody's going to be quoting that. And they're still going to be quoting George Carlin. You know what I mean? And that's a problem. When there are so many people who have a point of view and a voice right now, who all they need is an opportunity.
All they need is a platform.
Yeah. And that drives me crazy. And it's become something that has made me at times think maybe I don't want to do this because I'm not going to change.
Right.
I'm not going to change. Yeah. And I actually had to work really hard to get out of the ghetto. And that means I had to read books so that and go learn what I wasn't learning in school, because my school was the value of the education was so poor that I had to go outside of that to really get the information that I needed so that I can get a high score on the SAT and get into a good school. And it was really, really hard for me. So when I think about all the work that I had to do so that I could go back and help those in my community, I'm not going to turn my back on that so that people can think I'm cool.
Right.
That shit is not okay.
Because there are parts of me where I'm just like, I will lower myself and my standards for a little bit just so I can get enough clout. So then when it's my time, I have the money and I have the power to do what I really want. Like there's a part of me that says I will do that. Right. But again, I'm not gonna be on Instagram making stupid videos. No. I can't do that. Like there's a part of me that's just like, you can suck it up for a little bit, but for some reason that to me is something I will not do. That's to me like not the same as doing porn, but it might as well be. It's just something that is off limit. It's off limits to me because I refuse to I'm not going to dumb myself down to that level. It's not fun. And if it's not authentic, it doesn't feel genuine to you, you're not going to succeed at it.
Exactly. Anyway. That's what I told somebody. I was like, they were like, you should make those videos for Instagram. And I was like, well, my brain doesn't
work like
think that way.
Yeah.
And like, as soon as you try to sit down and strategize, how can I make a good, dumb Instagram video that people will like? Yeah. You've already lost.
Right.
All those people that make those videos with a ton of views, like the reason why they come across with the right way is because that's their truth. And they think that this is awesome. And some of them are done well. Like I'm not gonna lie, there are some people on here that make some really good videos. They don't have to think about it. They go, this would be funny, and then they just do it because that's their level.
Right.
Yeah, I think it just speaks to what's going on right now. And it's all across the art. It's in the music, it's in the television shows, it's in all of the stuff. So that when you see in Atlanta, you lose your mind because it's like, and it dispels that myth. People are really thirsty for something else because if that wasn't the case, then Atlanta wouldn't be so successful because it's not like a typical show.
It's not at all. And it's so artful. And it's like, people of color can make actual art.
Yes.
Who the fuck?
We'll allow one of those for the next 5 years.
Right. No, and hopefully what Donald Glover is doing is going to open some doors, hopefully for more talent to come forward and do that. I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're making progress with opening doors, but it's like now it's like, and I don't know if it's just me, if I only feel this way, but I feel like a lot of the opportunities that are being given to people of color and like women and women of color specifically, because I don't classify white women in the same category as women of color. We have two completely different struggles. But like when we see lineups now, like for example, a comedy show that's now they're trying to book more diverse people on it. But it's like, I feel like a lot of it is because of white guilt. I feel like it's not like they care. I think it's so they don't look racist.
Yeah.
I feel like they don't, at the end of the day, really care about the struggle. It's just like, oh, I don't want a blog written about me where my show is now racist because I've had 30 white guys on in a row and only 2 people of color. So it's like, I feel like the intent behind it is just it's not genuine.
Yeah, it's just, I just think if people just sat down and really thought logically about providing a service, we want to give a show to people. We want everybody who comes to the show to feel included. It would just shift it a little bit, but that's not what's going on. A lot of stuff that's going on is, I don't like her comedy, so I'm not going to book her. And it's not about you. It's about the audience.
Right.
And you have to give people
100%.
diversity. If you book 5 people who look like you, talk like you, act like you, you're not going to have a good show.
No.
Unless a bunch of people, unless the alt-right is coming to all your shows, that's just the reality of it. And it gets really boring to hear the same stuff over and over again. And I'm not saying that as a bitter comic. I'm saying that from a consumer standpoint. I don't want to sit there and watch the same thing over and over again. Right. I enjoy watching people from other countries do stand up because it gives me a perspective and an education into insight into something that I'm not familiar with. Because they think we all are the same. And look, the 3 of us are so different. Mm-hmm. But if somebody was booking a show, it would be one of us.
Yeah.
And
they're more than likely not going to put all of us on the same show.
And
or
they
even
probably
2 of us.
just book one of us because one of the women, because then like now we got a woman and a person of color, and that's not cool to you. Mm-hmm. It's gotten to the point where it's like we have to find our own power and create our own vehicles, because if not, we're going to be subject to this forever.
I heard, and I'm not going to say what place this is, but I heard that there is a club that has a chart that says like black female, like 1 column, Persian comic, another column, and then that's white dude, and that's how they book. Like they make sure that it's literally a check mark, like, oh, we've got this covered.
Yeah.
And that's how they book their shows.
Do they have a column that says funny?
I'm giving Mal a high five right now. How about that?
No, that's not a concern of theirs.
We got a Persian lady.
I just need to make this flyer look like the United Colors of Benetton. Yeah. That's my only concern right now, so that people don't call me racist.
And it really does compromise the quality of the show. Totally. It really just does.
Absolutely. When that's your agenda, of course, your agenda should be to put on a good show, not to check boxes.
So I antagonize people now. When I see the flyers, when it's all white people or all men, if it's someone I know, I start DMing them and say, really? This is what you're doing? And I have to, because I feel like if I don't, I feel like I have a little bit of clout with somebody, and if I do, I'm going to say something.
Right, especially if you're coming from if you know this person, mm-hmm. It's better coming from someone that you know or that you even consider a friend than, someone else. But if you have that relationship where you feel like you could call somebody out on it, but that's what we need to be doing. We need to be calling people out because they get in their comfort zones and they don't even acknowledge it. We talked about that earlier. Like they don't even realize it. So it's like they have to be called out on it. I think that's our responsibility.
Yeah, so I've been doing that. And it's been, some people are mad at me. I have a friend of mine who's not speaking to me right now because he was like, funny is funny, and I book funny. I'm like, you are excluding funny because you are only booking the funny that you know.
Right.
And that is not funny is funny. That is, I don't want to step outside of my comfort zone. This is not about you. You're not the only person sitting in the audience watching the show. You have to think about the people in the audience, and all Black people are not the same. All Latin people are not the same. You should provide a spectrum just like everybody else does. Patton Oswalt and Dane Cook are 2 different types of comics, right, and everything in between. But with us, it's like, oh, we already got that column, as if we are our one. Speak for
the whole race.
Yeah,
you're the one representative that has the same exact perspective as this other Black or brown person. Yeah.
And
or
just
woman.
for you people who are here in California and know me, I just want to make it very clear again. I am not Mexican. I'm Puerto Rican. And I don't have a problem with Mexicans. I love Mexican people. They're beautiful. Jesus Trejo is Mexican.
I love Jesus.
Me too. But it's just like, we got the Latin chick. You're Mexican, right? And I'm like, no, I'm Puerto Rican, and that's okay.
That's fine. We're still putting you on the Cinco de Mayo chant.
Oh, you must have seen the flyer. Mel saw the flyer.
The Cinco de Mayo. Wait, was that really a thing? Wait, no, it wasn't called the Cinco.
I just made that up.
It was for real.
That's hilarious. Wait, was it called the Jam?
Yes, it was that. That's why I thought you saw it. I'm like,
No.
oh wow, that's how sad it is.
That's
I was just trying to make a funny name for a Cinco de Mayo show.
hilarious. He like came up with the most derivative name for a show, and it was accurate.
Yeah. That's how bad it is.
It was either going to be that or the pinata
She was like,
party.
were you booked
and
on
I
it
went
too?
with the Cinco de Mayo jam instead.
That is so funny.
So, Ida, I want to ask, like, what are, because, you know, we deal with the same thing. Like, everything you're saying holds true to me as well. Like, I get it. So, like, are you, like, doing anything to combat all this negativity that you're feeling towards?
Well, I started going to therapy.
Okay.
I really needed it. And, you know, I come from a place where people shun you if you say that you have depression or anxiety and stuff like that. But I made a decision to really seek my own, mental health and my mental well-being, because I think it's important to really check in with yourself and just be real about what you're feeling, because you're not abnormal. And, you know, the reality of it is that I've been jealous of you when you book something. I've been jealous of you when you go on the road. The truth is that it's how I feel about myself.
Right.
It really has nothing to do with how I feel about either of you. It's about me being insecure and feeling like I may not have a shot. It may not happen for me. But I had to really learn that the industry is the one that sets that up to make you feel like your shot. There's only one room for one of you at the top, you know? And you know, it's funny now that Tiffany has made it. I've gotten so many calls from other comedians in New York that are women who are like, you know, really insecure about it. Like, you know, it's there. And I'm like, you
because
have to
they think that she's just going to take up their spot. And
no, that there's only, because the belief is that there's only room at the top. Even with Kevin Hart, that happened, you know? Mm-hmm. And I just like, I had to really go and say, that's not who I am. And I really have to understand where all this stuff comes from. And it for me, it comes from my mom, and it comes from my father leaving me and my own issues, and really not believing that I'm enough.
Worthy. Yeah.
And having to get to that place to be able to be mature enough and emotionally sound to deal with that is really where it started turning for me.
Yeah, no, and it's a lot. Like you said, like there's so many people avoid their own mental health and they're not self-aware, and we're so caught up in being so busy trying to make it that we don't take the time to do it.
No, and you know, Kanye doesn't help. Like,
oh dear God,
Kanye does. I remember listening to "Touch the Sky," and Kanye has a line that says, "These N-words that much better than me," and it was like he was like, I almost had a nervous breakdown. And a lot of people celebrated that line, including myself. Like, really, you're really focusing on the other pawns in the game as opposed to focusing on the powers that be that are manipulating us all. Yep. And just so what I decided to do was create my own stuff and really connect with people who have power, who are allies, that said, I believe in you and let's create something. Like even the dinner that we're going to, when I sat down with these people and they were like, hey, we want to build a show around you and we want to do this and we want to do that and we want to do this. And I was like, look, I want to do a show. I want to go to work with a bunch of people that I like every day. Yep. And I'm not the only woman who is of color, who's doing stand-up and that can write funny stuff. I know some people who do stand-up with me that are better writers than I am. And I would like the opportunity to create something with other women. I don't want to just, it doesn't have to be about me all the time. I've watched a lot of people with that me syndrome get TV shows and fail because all they want to do is, you know, and it just doesn't work like that. I admire Judd Apatow. I admire Seth Rogen because
they have that crew.
Yes.
They're friends.
And I want a crew because it's lonely when you're surrounded by people who don't understand you and don't understand where you come from. It gets really lonely.
Absolutely.
So I was like, you know, I told them and they looked at me like I was crazy. They were like, what? We're trying to do a show with you and you're like calling out other names. And I'm like, yeah, I think... do you watch SNL? Is it Cecily Strong?
Right. Is it a one-man or one-woman show? No. Like there's a group.
And it gets exhausting. So I just decided to just create my own stuff and work on the things that I have power because that's what makes me feel bad is feeling like I don't have power.
Focus on what you can control.
Yeah, because if you sit around and wait on that call, you will end up on Xanax for sure.
Absolutely. And I've talked about this numerous times on this podcast, so I'm not going to harp on it. But if you haven't tried meditating, it's life-changing.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah. That meditation it's what really helped me. My old manager would go to do the transcendental meditation.
TM, yeah.
He was really big on it. And he was real Hollywood with it. He was like, I'll go where Russell goes. And I'm like, okay. I'm going to go to the other
Calm
place.
down. You can do it at your house.
Yeah.
I do it in my bedroom on my little meditation pillow.
You had to get accepted. Like, you had to fill out an application and get accepted.
Scientology? Yeah. This just sounds fishy.
I do mine on YouTube, and I'm good. I do it at home.
Yeah. It don't have to be fancy. You don't have to go to I see these places that pop up now, like they've commercialized it. There's this, I see this place called the Den on La Brea where you pay to meditate. And I do kind of like out of curiosity, just want to go check it out to see what it's like. But at the same time, like I could literally do this at my place for free.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they have cool t-shirts though.
Yeah.
I mean, probably. Their logo is pretty cool. And I'm following them on Instagram.
Nothing like it, right?
You have to wear these Lululemons, otherwise your meditation's not going to go through.
You have to respect
and you have to bring 7 people with you.
Wait, it's a bringer? It's a bringer meditation room?
I love it.
I feel like there's always ulterior motives with everything. Why did you book me on this?
An open mic broke out at my meditation room.
Oh my God, that's one of my favorite episode of Crashing was when, what's his name? Davidoff.
Oh, Dov Davidoff? Yeah.
He was talking about comedy, alternative comedy. And he was like, I was at a Chinese restaurant and a comedy show broke out.
They must have been talking about the Palace. Have you done that show? There's a show at the Palace.
I'm not cool enough to do those shows. Listen, I am in the weirdest space in comedy where I'm not cool enough to do the alternative shows. I mean, I can work. It's so
ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm in the hard place because the Latin comedy scene doesn't really mess with me tough, and the Black comedy scene doesn't mess with me that tough. So I go do mainstream shows, and then I'm called a sellout, and they're like, "You too hood to always trying to think you roll it with the white people." I'm like, they're the only ones that
fuck with me right now, and that's I know people are talking shit behind my back because of that, and it's just like. I know, and I'm not saying anything negative about doing Black rooms at all, but I know the way that I have been accepted in Black rooms. And it's because Black rooms consistently have only been shown one type of humor.
Right.
And it's like, if you don't do that, you're going to struggle in those rooms because they just haven't been, been able to experience anything else. So... Am I going to seek out these opportunities? Like, am I going to go out of my way, like, on a monthly basis? Like, can you book me on this Black show? Like, no. If you ask me to do it, I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to tell you what, the way those audiences receive me is not how I want to feel good on a regular basis.
Right.
Because it's a struggle when you do those rooms. If you're not like a regular in those rooms and you're a different type of more cerebral type of heady comic, you're going to struggle a little bit unless you're a name.
And also be a deadpan, because the other thing is that the high energy. And for me, like I have my days. If I'm angry, you might get a little energy from me, but I don't want to jump. You know what I'm saying? I just tell you the truth.
We have no idea what you're talking about.
I live in my truth, and I try my best to just be as real as I can with myself. But I'm not going to jump around the stage. Half the time I'm struggling to get there because I do battle with my own form of depression, and I don't want to, I got to get myself up every day. That's just me. And so I'm not going to go on stage and do something that's not real for me, because it's not real for me. I do have the opportunity to work in certain rooms, and Spike books me or Pookie books me for Chocolate Sundays. But, it's just like I don't have a home. And as being somebody who feels like I identify Afro-Latina, a lot of Latin people have shunned me, and they're like, there's a lot of internalized racism amongst Latin people. And so they resent me for identifying with my Blackness and not feeling that way. And it feels really lonely sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I'm not one of them. People are like,
both told. I mean, we talk about this all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
I don't even attempt to do Black shows anymore. My self-esteem can't take being called corny by an entire room of black people.
I asked Mal about because they brought back all deaf on HBO, all deaf comedy.
I was on the pilot, and I heard about that.
They
didn't let me be on
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was on the pilot, but first of all, they pitted me and Zaynab up against each other.
Why?
So it was like there are 2 women, but there was only 1 spot. But there were 10 spots, and they were booking 6 comics. I don't know why it had to be one or the other, and that's what I was told.
That's ridiculous.
But and then somebody was like, "Yeah, you weren't hood enough," or the other thing was
that's insane.
They were too young to understand what you were saying, and I was like, there were bitches in that audience older than me because I knew them. Like there wasn't. It's not about age; it's about funny, and the reality of it is that I struggled on that show. I was the 9th comic on the show after
they were tired. They tired.
And it was the same audience. And Russell Simmons did a vegan spread in the audience. He was giving people food and shit. It was like, it wasn't. And I don't blame anybody when I don't do well. I only blame myself.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't hold anybody accountable.
Sometimes crowds be shitty though.
Yeah. And
sometimes.
They do be. They do be.
I couldn't connect with them. And I was like I was so outdone by the time I hit the stage.
Yeah.
I just went in. I was
You called them dumb?
No.
Mal did that once.
I did that once.
I've done that before.
At a showcase?
Y'all stupid.
I called,
and then just dropped
I called a room full of industry people stupid. But like not in a funny way. Like it was clear that I was saying.
He was just y'all are stupid.
So you were there?
Oh, I saw it. I was on the same showcase.
She went up after me.
I had to follow that.
Oh my God.
Feels like
I was so mad.
He was so mad.
Because they make you feel like you're speaking a foreign language.
They make you feel like it's your first time. They make you doubt your whole... Like, I've been doing this for like a decade now, and you're making me doubt my skills at this point.
And then I got more mad as the showcase went on, because then they would give it up for other stuff, and I was like...
You assholes.
Just festering, just like fuming in the back.
Oh, no.
But I did embarrass my... Like... We're supposed to be professionals still, so I didn't react.
He's like, I didn't set the place on fire.
No.
Yeah, me, like I know that I know me, so I know that I was. When you're on stage and you're like, damn, I hate these people.
Yes.
You feel that, right? And so I knew what was going on.
People who are not comedians are like, wait, really? You guys feel that way?
Oh,
yes.
This girl was sitting in the front. She was a model. She's a white girl with these Nubian knots on her head.
Oh, God.
I wanted to jump off the stage and pounce
choke her.
Like, I really wanted to be
Because she wasn't laughing at anything?
She was just looking like, and I'm like, oh, she's probably hungry. You know what I mean? Like, but
maybe them Bantu knots on her head are too tight.
Yeah, I'm sitting there looking at her like, you old, and I wanted to turn the mic, you old cultural appropriation bitch. Like, I wanted to really just, and then I was like, okay, you are losing your professionalism.
You know what's ironic, though, is you probably would have made the show if you did that.
I know, but I wouldn't.
More than 100% would have made
You would have been the entire trailer for season 1. It would have been cutaways to full-grown black people throwing themselves at walls because you're making fun of that girl so hard.
Yeah, I wasn't. And I had to check myself because, my daughter's in the audience, and I'm always telling my daughter, like, don't worry about other people. Do it. You know what I mean? My daughter would have been like, she would have felt like America right now with Donald Trump. Like, do as I say, not as I do. I had to go. I was like, and I try my best not to shit on shows because they are people of color, and I really do try to practice.
Of course.
Even still, I will always take accountability for not being the best comic that I could have been that night. Mm-hmm. But the truth is, I probably should not have done that show. And that was what I was feeling in my gut, and I didn't follow my gut.
Yeah. And then your gut is always right. Always right. And this is why I brought that up, because I asked Mal, because we were watching some episodes of it, and I was like, Mal, if they asked you to do this show, like you didn't have to audition for it, they were just like, we want you to do this show, would you do it? And do you remember what your response was?
No, what'd I say?
You said, I don't think I could, because if I bombed on it, I would have to quit comedy.
That's what I said?
Yeah. Yeah, you were like, I don't think I could recover from it. If I bomb on it, I don't think I could recover from it.
But I think you would, what's funny though? I think that if you put it to the test and give it to the people, because that's the industry that keeps making these decisions, then you probably would get a favorable response. Because if Dave Chappelle would have not done Dave Chappelle on Def Jam, then we wouldn't respect Dave Chappelle today.
That is true.
You know what I mean? And I think that that's like the reality is that the people are deciding what the people want, these industry people, as opposed to you giving it to the people and let them make the decision. I think people of color want to see a spectrum. There are a lot of people.
Absolutely they do.
Yeah, people who've gone to college, who grew up with in a two-parent home, who've had a different experience, want to see a reflection of themselves.
100%.
That's 1/3 of the audience. The rest of them.
Yeah. But I'm talking about the television watching, though. The people who are watching out there, not the ones who were invited by, but I think the people want to see themselves.
I agree. I do agree. But again, that you can only know what you've been shown. And it's like, how do you know until you've been like, oh, I do like this.
That's why Anna's doing so well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I dig this. This little corny dude from Community.
Yeah.
He's down with black people. Like, of course he's down with black people.
Yeah, he's telling the story. And there's a spectrum within that because Earn is so different from Paperboy.
Right.
And
so different from Lakeith Stanfield's character. Right.
So you get to see a reflection of yourself somewhere in
there. Yes.
And, as opposed to, Sassy is great on it, but that black girl that was in the episode at the party at Drake's house was hilarious.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, and even still, there's a spectrum within there that we don't usually have, and that's why I think it's so well received because you get to see a world of people of color where there's a whole bunch of different types, as opposed to the people telling you this is how all black people act. These are how all Latinos act, which is so sickening.
Absolutely,
it gets old.
Do you have another struggle?
I struggle with my weight.
Do you?
Yeah. I do. I struggle with my weight because I was anorexic for many years, and
I did not know that.
Yeah, I was really, really thin. I got down to like 117 pounds, and
you are like 6'3". Wait, how tall are you for real?
I'd be dead. But
you are tall.
No, I'm 5'10" and a half.
And you weighed 117?
Yeah, I got down.
Didn't you say you were a model?
Yeah, and I quit. I didn't make it. They wanted me to lose more when I got down to 117, and I was.
You just like abusive careers.
Yeah,
you like careers that
I went for one,
beats you to a pulp.
Yeah,
it's like see if I can come out of this one alive.
And I went to this comedy class here with a very popular comedy teacher, and she said to me, "You're going to have to lose 25 more pounds."
A comedy teacher told you to lose weight?
Yes. And she was like, look, there's no room for medium on television.
I have heard that from agents.
Yeah, she was like, you're either the ingenue or you're the fat friend. And I'm sitting here like, I didn't quit modeling to become a stand-up comedian so that I could be told that I also need to lose weight.
No, I started comedy so I could eat.
Yes.
And like, that's so ridiculous. Like, first of all, we both know, like, being women in comedy, it's like being an attractive woman is to our detriment a lot of the times because they are like, there's no way they're going to be funny. Yep. Like, immediately you got a woman and they're already like, she's not funny. Then you're cute on top of it. There's no way she's going to be funny. So we already have that working against us. So like in comedy, like being bigger works to our advantage. Mm-hmm. So like for her to be like, you need to lose weight.
Yeah,
like,
she was like, get down. You lose. She said, she was specific. She said 25 pounds. And I was looking at her. Where did you get 25 from?
Yeah.
Like, where do I go from? Like I'm already
so tiny.
Yeah. I'm like, and at that time I was like 155 pounds. So 25 pounds for me, even 130 is too thin for me.
Yeah, you are 5'10". Yeah. I weigh more than 130 and I am barely 5'4".
Yeah, no. It was just, so I battled with it. I actually am working on a web series about it because I turned it into my funny. But I did every diet. When I used to go to San Diego for the comedy shows, I used to drive to Mexico to go get anabolic steroids. I used to go get clenbuterol.
What does that, suppress your appetite?
Yeah, and it speeds up your metabolism. And
it gave me this dick.
And it can give you a heart attack. I was going to say a heart attack, but it will give you a dick too. But it's for people who have like problems with their lungs. And it's a medication. And then people take it because it speeds up your metabolism and leans you out. So I did every diet. I mean, even the cabbage soup diet for heart patients.
I remember that. Yeah.
I've done it all. I've taken every pill. I've done And the reality of it is that as soon as I get off whatever I'm on, I get back to this weight that I'm supposed to be. And
are you comfortable at this weight though?
No, I'm currently trying to lose weight. But you know what I did is I started going to meetings. So I go to therapy and then I go to meetings for my eating disorder. And I'm like, thank you, Dad. All this shit that I have to deal with. But the struggle with eating in this city particularly is so, I feel guilty when I order anything other than a salad when I'm in public. It's just a nightmare. I went on the menu today where we're going to dinner.
We're going.
I have to look at the menu in advance to see so that I don't feel like because I'm in the presence of industry people and I don't want them judging me. Oh my gosh, we got to be careful with her. She'll blow up.
She got the buffet, huh?
It's drama. It's just.
That sucks, dude.
It is.
Being a woman sucks. Like we have I'm exhausted.
No, me too. I mean,
I'm exhausted.
Also, people talking to me about getting Botox. Like, I'm scared of needles, really scared of needles. I'm only going to get a needle if it's going to guarantee me some weight loss.
See, that's the only time.
I'm talking, but I don't, not even for that. But, the other thing about that I'm struggling with is the reality of getting older in a business that hates people.
Older people, especially older women.
Yeah. And it's just like...
they hate people in the process of getting old until you're old. And
then
it's like, oh, you're the old one.
Yeah. But it's true. But it's like, we're all getting older. Why are we fighting all of this?
Yeah.
It's literally the one thing that all of us have in common.
And if you lucky, because if you don't get older, you get dead.
You dead.
And I just don't understand. Like
and we're so much more well-rounded and just we have more knowledge. We have so many more stories to tell. Like, why is getting older so frowned upon?
Yeah,
because it's all about beauty. It's all about the physical.
It's all fake. And it's funny. I go on like the Instagram pages of people who are like over 40. Like I'll go to Gabrielle Union's page and then I'll go to like Halle Berry's page and Jennifer Lopez's page. People who are older than me particularly make me feel better about myself. But then I go to their pages and I'm like, oh, this has a filter.
Oh, yeah.
There's a Photoshop. Then I found out all of Beyonce's pictures are Photoshopped for Instagram and all her videos are Photoshopped.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, that's just depressing.
We don't know what she really looks like at all.
No. And you're never going to see her close up because security's not going to let it happen. It just feels like...
We have to ask Tiffany what Beyonce looks like close up.
I doubt that she'll be saying anything else about anything about Beyonce. I'm sure she learned her lesson.
Yeah, no, I don't know what we're supposed to do.
It's crazy. It's like we've become... Death becomes her.
Well, Ida, we could start hiking again.
I know.
Did you guys used to hike together?
Ida and I went on one hike, and then we've taken 6 years off.
I know.
We did the same thing. We went on one hike, and we haven't hiked since either.
You know what's funny? We were younger back then, and we were like, you know what?
We're both breathing hard. We're trying to make it up that hill.
I'm cute. You're cute. Yeah. We ain't got to do this. I bet you we'll hit that trail 4 times a week now.
You want to meet at 5 a.m.?
It's a whole different game. And it's funny, like you guys are not, we talk about being in our 30s and our 40s like it's 70 and 80 now.
It's ridiculous.
Right. Because it's like,
that's a LA thing.
Man.
It is.
You fly an hour in any direction from here, and those people like just have perspective on life. Like,
absolutely.
They don't care about how
they
old
don't
you
care.
are.
Oh, but do you know what's bad about that is that it's like they don't care almost to a fault, because because we're so conscious of it, we do things to like slow the aging process. And we have so much access to like vegan foods and healthier foods out here, whereas those people don't. Like I saw some people, like my roommate had some of his friends fly out from Detroit. They were, I think, 40. And let me tell you, they look like my uncles.
Well, 40 is uncle age.
Yeah, but
I thought you were going to say they were 25. I was like, oh,
no, it's uncle age, but I'm telling like people at 40 in LA is like a Detroit 60.
Gabrielle Union is 46. Jennifer Lopez is 47.
Yeah.
To give you perspective.
Yes.
And
Halle Berry's 50.
Yeah, I'm like, if she shows me one more backless picture of her, I'm gonna unfollow that bitch because I'm like, nobody who has 2 kids should have a back that good.
A back? I like it's the back
it's
specifically.
Because she's always doing these things, and
But also know that's posing too.
No, I know.
Like it's all about, you have to pose. Like I take pictures sometimes and I'm like, this can't be posted. We just took one earlier, right, when our first guest was here. And I was like, we can't post this. And I was like, why does it look like I'm pregnant and leaning back? I have no idea what to do with my body in pictures.
Oh, yeah,
it's like Will Ferrell in Talladega Nights. I don't know what to do with my hands. Like I have no idea how to pose. I'll be with like Amanda and we'll just be like, she'll be like taking all these photo shoots like at her birthday. And I'm like, what are we doing? And I'll like, take a photo of me. And she's like, girl, you have to, first of all, put your leg down. Why is your leg on a boulder? And I'm like, I don't know. It was just there. Is this what we do? Yeah, no, I have no idea. But some people have been
trying
trained.
to show off the flexibility of those jeans. Why are you putting your foot up like that?
It was Tangerine was the one that taught me how to pose for a red carpet. Because she was like, come here.
It's a skill.
She's like, come here. She's like, no, you look goofy. Stop. You too tall to do that. And I was like, didn't you model before? I was like, yeah, when you walk on the runway, you're supposed to look goofy. It's not, you're not supposed to look sassy when you walk down the aisle. That's all you put on it.
It's a whole nother level of something that we need to know how to do and be prepared to do.
My friend Lewis is great at photos.
That's your friend that's cute.
My good-looking friend. And he's like mid-30s and he's like, every photo, you pull out a cell phone and point it at him, it turns into a pho shoot. And like, I'm the same way as you, just like, take another one.
Looking like a deer in headlights.
Wait, what?
But do you ever go
What are you doing with that?
Do you ever look at Instagram and scroll through the pictures and feel nauseated?
Yes.
And you're like, wow, what is wrong with humanity?
Yes.
It's like I've seen 37 selfies.
Oh, yeah.
The narcissism.
On one page.
The narcissism.
You know the irony of the like a couple of days ago, it was like National Selfie Day, and everybody was like, I guess I'll do a selfie. Yeah. And then you go to their page, and it's like,
that's all it is anyway.
Has it been National Selfie Day for the last
this whole entire year? Because these are the only pictures you've been taking.
I didn't post one that day, but I posted it the day after. And what I did, it was for myself. I was like, you can't hide behind these filters. You can't do this. You're a stand-up comedian, and you're supposed to be talking about the truth. So I posted it myself with no makeup on. And it was the scariest thing I did because I was like, I was like, man, they're going to kill me on this internet. Like I really was so self-conscious about the fact that I was just being myself. Yeah. And it's like, that's who you wake up
We're
to.
trained to believe that we're not enough. And that's what this industry we're talking about. That's how they oppress you.
No, I did order these patches for under your eyes from China. Mm-hmm. And they took forever to get here.
Are you talking about the mask one that you pull out and you put
No, it's just these.
They're just like these things that you put right here. Yeah, I've seen those.
This makeup artist used it on my face.
And they worked well?
They did work, but they were tingling. And I was like, I wonder what this is doing to my liver or my,
or to my eyesight.
But you put that under there and it's soaking.
I'm blind, but my bags are gone.
It goes into your bloodstream. Yeah. You don't know what it is. I can't read the ingredients because I don't read Mandarin. But I was like, fuck it.
They're destroying us. All these beauty products, and I fall for it too. I be on there, I be like, ooh, have you seen the Hana Cure mask?
Yes.
I know you've seen this mask. There's a mask that Drew Barrymore put on the map, and it's like, I don't know what's in it, but while it's on, it makes you look like you're 15 years older or 20, 30 years older. Like shrinks like your face and it's all wrinkly and dry. But then when you take it off, you're supposed to look like 10 years younger.
No, I saw that. And I'm like, how do you go from looking like Victoria Principal to going back to looking like Keisha? You know what I mean? Like it just was like, and I'm like, that scares me. I'm not falling for that trick. I don't even want to look like that for 10 seconds.
Yeah, no, it's terrifying. It's terrifying. But people, and I almost bought the mask. I almost bought it. I was like, no, Candice, don't do it. And another thing that terrifies me is Halo Top. Are you familiar with Halo Top ice cream?
Yes, I don't. It doesn't taste good.
It depends on, I haven't tried a lot of them, but there are some that I actually like. It's those ones, I don't know if you're familiar with them, Mel. Have you seen it? Like you can eat the whole pint and it's only like 280 calories for it. First of all, it's training us to eat pints.
Right.
Which is not good in itself. That's not a portion size. So why are we eating a pint of anything? But also, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, we gonna find out 15 years from now. You remember Olestra? Do you remember when they were making like these potato chips? And I forget what they were called, but they had this ingredient that was supposed to make you not gain weight when you eat them, but it was giving everybody mud butt.
And yeah, it causes diarrhea.
Yeah. So everyone's like, "Oh, I'm eating bags of these chips."
Diuretic.
Yeah, I wish I could remember the name of those chips, but yeah, everyone was going ham.
Lay's was using it.
Lay's was yeah, they were going ham on these chips, and everyone was like, next thing you know, everyone had irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah, and it was oily. Yeah, that's what they said, that it was real oily stools, and I was like,
so that's what I feel is going to happen with Halo Top. I feel like that's why I'm like there was at one point where I was eating like one every week. I was
like ice cream.
I do. I love ice cream. You're not an ice cream person.
No, but I still have a whole thing in my refrigerator for
of Halo Top.
Yeah,
you didn't like it.
I got the vegan kind.
Oh, and I haven't had the vegan kind yet.
It was
oily stool.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. That's what Olestra was doing.
They said it was like because if you have hemorrhoids, at least I'm telling you.
I just picture oil change type dumps where like motor oily is like the image that popped in my head. That's why it was funny. Sorry.
I'm like, Val must not have heard about this Olestra because he's enjoying this way too much.
I did not.
Nor did he experience it. Otherwise, he wouldn't be laughing at it either.
I did not.
That's so funny.
That's only Indian food when it's on like super spicy.
Well, this is not the note that I wanted to end the show on.
On an oily stool.
Was mud butt.
And we out.
Here we are once again.
Oh yeah, we have to
ass up at the end of the struggle. We have to wrap this up, guys, but this has been a fantastic episode. Thank you for listening to The Struggle. You can find me at Jokes by Candice on social media and Candice Thompson Comedy for all my tour dates. And Mal.
Thank you, Candice Thompson. I'm malhall.com for tour dates and photos and stuff. And then at Mal Hall on social media for like tour dates and photos and stuff. And then
you just
at YouTube TV.
Said that.
For other stuff.
Okay.
Videos.
Wrap it up. Ida, work.
Funny Ida, funnyAIDA.com and at Funny Ida on Instagram and Twitter. And on Facebook, Ida.Rodriguez. And please check out my show on Dash Radio on Mondays, 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific Time, Truth Serum. And Candice is going to be on there on July 9th.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't wait.
And I got to get Mal on the show now.
No, you're not obligated to put.
No, I just saw you and I thought about you because
cool.
That's how it happens.
I don't have a booker anymore
for the radio show.
I used to have a booker. Now I'm booking the show myself because I want to have people that I like
that you want.
Show.
You know, that makes
nice.
The most sense. You have the best chemistry with people that way. Thanks for listening, guys, to The Struggle. If you're listening to this and you have not subscribed, make sure to do that. Also, if you haven't told somebody you love about it, make sure you do that. Pay it forward. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Toodles.